everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in my last video, if you watched it closely, you may have noticed the audio was out of sync. Yeah, that wasn't YouTube glitching, that was on me. I even tried to fix it by nudging the audio, but nothing helped and probably made it worse. I haven't taken down the video, I left it up. Why? Because I'd rather upload and get 1% better with every single video than chase perfection and never upload at all. Also, I'm not prepared to reduce the breaths in iZotope RX again, which was my 1% improvement from the video before. And that audio sync issue? It prompted me to dig deep and figure out what went wrong, and more importantly, how to fix it. I asked ChatGPT and it gave me the solution and it worked. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through why you should not export using the YouTube setting in Final Cut Pro, and what the correct export settings are to keep your audio locked in perfect sync, especially if you're bringing your video into Logic Pro. And lastly, what setting you should use when finally exporting to YouTube. I've put timestamps in the description in case you just want to skip to the part showing you how to export from Final Cut Pro, so it works, missing out all the extra fluff. So here's what I did in that last video. I went to File, Share, YouTube and Facebook and exported it using that preset. Seems logical, right? I mean, uploading to YouTube, so YouTube preset, easy. But here's what it actually does. It exports your video as an H.264 MP4 with AAC compressed audio, and often it uses a variable frame rate. And that combination, compressed video, compressed audio and a variable frame rate, is like kryptonite for Logic Pro. So yeah, it's got that whole forbidden knowledge energy going on. The main issues in my video were the audio quality and the variable frame rate. There seemed to be a hissing quality to the audio that no amount of EQ would fix, and I'm wondering now if the audio compression was the culprit. ChatGPT says that particular preset might make the AAC bitrate quite low at around 160 kilobytes per second, and I compressed it to AAC twice. When I imported that video into Logic to work on the audio, it was out of sync. And here's the kicker, I'd used the same sample rate of 48 kHz and the same frame rate of 30 frames per second, and the SMPTE was still locked. But it was drifting, so what gives? Now here's how you do it right. In Final Cut Pro, go to File, Share, Export File Default, or use the shortcut Command+E. Click the Settings tab at the top. For format, change it from Computer, which is a publishing option, to Video and Audio under Mastering. Ensure the codec is Apple ProRes 422. For format, change it from Computer, which is a publishing option, to Video and Audio under Mastering. Ensure the codec is Apple ProRes 422. See the diagram showing the settings you want. The audio format should be Linear PCM, which is an AIFF file type. The resolution should be 1920 by 1080, unless you're making a YouTube short. Colour space should be standard rec.709. Overall, this gives you a .mov file. See the diagram showing the best settings. This should now be uncompressed video with a consistent frame rate, uncompressed AIFF audio, and no surprises when you import into Logic Pro. This is editing friendly, not delivery focused. Hey everyone, so are there 9 solfeggio frequencies, or only 6? You've probably heard about these mystical tones that supposedly heal the body, repair DNA and raise your vibration, but where do they actually come from? And are all 9 of them legit? After using these settings and importing the file into Logic Pro, the sync was perfect, no drift, just locked in place. So let's break down why this happens in the first place. The YouTube and Facebook preset exports with AAC audio and variable frame rate. Logic Pro expects a consistent frame rate, and for better audio you want to use an uncompressed lossless file type, like AIFF or WAV. When the frame rate varies, Logic struggles to line everything up properly, especially over longer timelines. That's where you get drift, lag or sync issues, even if your Final Cut Pro project says 30 frames per second. The exported file might not actually have a locked consistent frame rate unless you force it with the right settings. Here's your quick checklist. See the diagram. An extra thing to mention is that you should try a frame rate of 30 frames per second, or anything as long as they match in both programs. And your sample rate should be the same in both programs as well. Try 48 kHz if you want a suggestion. And hey, if you have to work with a file that was already exported using social platforms, computer or Apple devices presets, try transcoding it using the Handbrake app and force a constant frame rate, but that's more of a workaround than a fix. So I guess you're thinking what I was thinking. If a variable frame rate affects the sync in Logic Pro, will it affect YouTube? According to ChatGPT, the answer is probably yes. The solution? Export at the best possible quality for YouTube like you would for Logic Pro. YouTube encodes video to smaller sizes itself anyway, so if you have to re-download your video, don't expect it to be the same size and quality as the file you uploaded. You can upload files up to 256 GB as long as you have verified your phone number, otherwise you're limited to 2 GB and only 15-minute videos. So that's what happened with my last video. Sorry about that, and hopefully this helps you avoid the same mistake. If you're editing in Final Cut Pro and doing audio in Logic Pro, don't trust those YouTube and Facebook or Apple devices presets. They're made for publishing, not syncing, and even for publishing they're questionable. Let me know in the comments if you've run into this issue and if this has worked for you. And remember, don't wait for perfect, just get 1% better every upload. See you in the next one.